Let me set the scene for you. It's September 18th, 2025. Jensen Huang, the guy who basically runs the AI world right now, takes a selfie with Intel's CEO Lip-Bu Tan. Two former rivals, smiling, together, and then they drop a bombshell that nobody in the tech industry saw coming. NVIDIA is investing $5 billion in Intel. $5 billion. At $23.28 per share, that gives NVIDIA roughly a 4.4% ownership stake in Intel, making them one of Intel's biggest shareholders almost overnight. And this isn't just a financial move where NVIDIA buys some stock and calls it a day. No, this comes bundled with a full-on, multi-generational product co-development agreement. NVIDIA and Intel are going to build stuff together. Chips, platforms, data center infrastructure, PC products, the whole 9 yards. I've been following this industry for a while, and honestly, I didn't think I'd ever see this. These two companies spent decades competing, undercutting each other, fighting over the same customers. And now, they're sitting at the same table, engineering the future together. That's not just a business deal. That's a seismic shift. Let's talk about what that $5 billion actually means, because the number sounds big, but the implications are even bigger. NVIDIA is the most valuable semiconductor company on the planet right now, worth over $5 trillion. They don't need to throw money around carelessly. So when Jensen Huang signs off on a $5 billion investment into a company that, just a year earlier, looked like it was genuinely on the brink of irrelevance, that's not charity. That's cold, calculated strategy. What NVIDIA gets out of this is access to Intel's x86 ecosystem, the most widely used CPU architecture in the world, plus Intel's manufacturing and advanced packaging capabilities. NVIDIA has been leaning heavily on TSMC for chip production for years. Diversifying that supply chain while locking in a dedicated manufacturing partner is just smart business. What Intel gets is even more obvious. They get a lifeline. They get validation from the hottest company in tech. They get a roadmap back to relevance in the AI era. When the news broke, Intel's stock shot up over 23% in a single day. That number tells you everything. The market didn't just react to cash hitting the books. It reacted to the idea that NVIDIA believes in Intel's future. And that's a story worth a lot. And honestly, I think they're right to believe in it. Intel has the infrastructure, the fabs, the packaging expertise. What they've been missing is a compelling reason for the world to care. NVIDIA just handed them that reason on a silver platter. The deal closed on December 26, 2025, after all the regulatory boxes got checked. It's done. It's official. And the roadmap has already started moving. Now let's get into the actual product side of things, because this is where it gets really interesting. For data centers, Intel is building custom x86 CPUs specifically, designed for NVIDIA's AI infrastructure platforms. These aren't just regular Intel server chips with an NVIDIA sticker slapped on them. These are purpose-built processors engineered from scratch to work seamlessly inside NVIDIA's AI stack. The key ingredient here is NVLink. That's NVIDIA's proprietary high-bandwidth interconnect technology. NVLink is what allows multiple GPUs to communicate with each other at insane speeds without the bottlenecks you normally get when data has to crawl through standard PCIe connections. It's already baked into NVIDIA's massive AI server racks, and it's a big reason why NVIDIA's data center products are so dominant right now. For the first time ever, Intel's x86 CPUs are going to plug directly into that ecosystem through NVLink. That means the custom CPUs Intel builds for NVIDIA will connect to NVIDIA's Blackwell and future Rubin GPU clusters with the kind of bandwidth that was previously only possible between NVIDIA's own chips. And if you're wondering why that matters, think about it from a hyperscale operator's perspective. Companies like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on AI infrastructure. Right now, they have to make real compromises at the CPU layer. With Intel x86 CPUs, custom built to couple with NVIDIA GPUs through NVLink, those compromises largely disappear. You get tighter integration, lower latency, better throughput, and less energy burned per workload. That's a winning combination in every dimension that matters to the people writing the biggest checks in the industry. From where I'm standing, this part of the deal is genuinely brilliant for NVIDIA. They're not just selling GPUs anymore, they're selling the entire AI infrastructure stack, and now they control the CPU that sits alongside it too. Here's where things get wild for regular consumers and PC enthusiasts. Because while the data center side is where the biggest money is, the PC side of this deal could be what actually changes your next laptop or gaming handheld. First, Nova Lake HX. Intel's Nova Lake platform is confirmed for a late 2026 launch. It's a tile-based architecture, with compute dies coming both from Intel's own fabs and from TSMC's N2P process for the top-end configs. The HX variant is being set up as Intel's outright performance king, with rumored configurations going up to 52 cores on desktop. That's impressive on its own, but it's the chip further down the road that has people genuinely losing their minds. Enter Serpent Lake. According to leaks from hardware tipster Jay Kine, who has earned a pretty solid track record, Serpent Lake is a branch of Intel's upcoming Titan Lake architecture. It's currently slated for a 2028 to 2029 launch. And what makes it special? It puts a dedicated NVIDIA RTX GPU tile directly inside the chip package. Let me say that again, an Intel CPU with an NVIDIA RTX GPU tile on the same chip. 2 years ago, that would have been pure fantasy, fan fiction, for hardware nerds. But this is literally what NVIDIA's official announcement described. The press release used the exact phrase, x86 system on chips that integrate NVIDIA RTX GPU chiplets. That's not a leak. That's official language from NVIDIA's own newsroom. Serpent Lake looks like exactly that product coming to life. The rumored specs are something else. We're talking Intel's Copper Shark P-cores paired with an NVIDIA Rubin generation RTX GPU tile built on TSMC's N3P process. It's reportedly designed to go head-to-head with AMD's Strix Halo, the chip that's already powering the best gaming handhelds and compact workstations you can buy today. Think about what that means for gaming laptops. Right now, if you want a thin laptop with real gaming performance, you're either paying a massive premium for a discrete GPU, or you're settling for weak integrated graphics. Serpent Lake would essentially bring RTX class performance directly onto the processor die. That opens the door to gaming laptops that are actually thin, actually power efficient, and actually powerful all at once. It could do to laptop gaming what Apple Silicon did to laptop productivity. That's a big claim. I genuinely think it could land. I want to step back for a second and think about what this partnership means in the bigger picture, because I don't think the industry has fully processed it yet. NVIDIA has spent the last decade building the most powerful AI computing stack in the world. Blackwell GPUs, NVLink interconnects, CUDA software, the entire NVIDIA AI platform is a vertical ecosystem, and it's been nearly impossible for anyone to challenge it, precisely because all the pieces fit together so well. But there's always been one gap: x86 CPUs. NVIDIA doesn't make them, AMD does, and for a while AMD was the default CPU in plenty of AI server builds. Intel had been largely pushed out of the AI era after years of product stumbles and manufacturing setbacks. This partnership fills that gap completely. NVIDIA now has a CPU answer. Custom x86 chips built specifically for their ecosystem, connected through NVLink, designed to make the whole AI stack tighter and more efficient. On top of that, NVIDIA is expanding its NVLink Fusion platform, which lets third-party silicon, including these Intel CPUs, plug directly into NVIDIA's GPU clusters. Here's a number that puts it all in context. Demand for NVIDIA's products has reportedly hit the $1 trillion mark through 2027 alone. $1 trillion of infrastructure already locked in, and NVIDIA is now making sure they control more of the value chain that infrastructure depends on. That is a breathtaking position to be in as a company. For Intel, this is a genuine second act. A company that was staring into the abyss not long ago now has a world-class partner, a cleaner roadmap, and proof that its manufacturing muscle still means something to the biggest players in the game. And then there's AMD. Let's be straight about what this partnership does to them. AMD is already in a tight spot here. In its November 2025 quarterly report, an official SEC filing, AMD explicitly listed the Intel-NVIDIA alliance as a material risk to its business. They warned, in their own words, that the partnership could result in increased competition and pricing pressure that could materially adversely impact their business, financial condition, and margins. That sentence was written by AMD's own lawyers. That's not analyst speculation. That's the company putting it on the record. Here's the core issue. AMD has built its competitive edge over the past few years on two things. First, Ryzen CPUs that beat Intel on performance per dollar. Second, integrated graphics solutions like the Strix Halo that combine CPU and GPU power on a single chip better than anyone else. Serpent Lake directly attacks both of those advantages. An Intel CPU with NVIDIA RTX graphics doesn't just compete with AMD's APUs, it goes after them with arguably the two most respected brand names in PC hardware fused into one product. To be fair though, AMD is not sitting still. Their Ryzen AI Max chips are already on shelves and already winning design slots in gaming handhelds and workstations. Serpent Lake is at minimum 3 years away. Lisa Su has navigated tougher situations before and came out on top. She literally saved AMD once. I wouldn't count them out, but the pressure is real and it's only going to grow. AMD knows it too. That SEC filing makes that crystal clear. What do I think? I think this is one of the most exciting things to happen in PC and AI hardware in the last 10 years. No exaggeration. When two companies that spent 40 years as rivals decide that working together beats fighting each other, that tells you something real about the moment we're in. The companies that win the next decade of tech are going to be the ones building complete platforms, not just individual products. NVIDIA with custom Intel CPUs, NVLink connected data centers, and RTX-powered SoCs in laptops and handhelds. That's a platform. That's an ecosystem. And I think it's going to be a dominant one for a very long time. The deal is closed. The chips are in development. The future is already being built.